Travel backwards in time 2,500 years to the spring and autumn period in ancient China. To the west, the pre-Socratic philosophers were disputing in Greece. The second Isaiah was preaching to the Hebrews about a God of love and mercy. Gautama Buddha was bringing a new religion to India, and in China, a man was born, lived, and died who is to shape the character of the Chinese people for 2,500 years. He was called Confucius, Kung, the master. Confucius, or as we say, Confucius, was a scholar, a statesman, and a moral philosopher. Once, on hearing that a student had been asked to describe him, Confucius described himself in these words.
Why didn't you tell him that I'm a person who pursues the truth untiringly and teaches people unceasingly, who forgets to eat when he's enthusiastic about something, forgets all his worries when he's happy, and who's not aware that old age is coming on?
These books comprise the main body of Confucian teachings. The 5 classics are historical writings from generations previous to Confucius that were edited by him. The 4 books are the works of his followers. They include the Analects, a collection of his sayings compiled by his disciples. In Confucius's time, Chinese characters were painted on bamboo or wooden slips. Perhaps that is why Chinese writing reads from top to bottom. All the writings from his time have vanished. These ancient slips date from about 50 BC. At the time of Confucius's birth, China was composed of many feudal states. Confucius was born in the state of Lu, in northern China, in 551 BC. He was born into an age of anarchy. The ruling dynasty was crumbling. War, rebellion, and injustice lay upon the land. It was a period of political and moral chaos. Chinese civilization had reached great heights during the earlier Shang and Zhou dynasties. Confucius wanted to reestablish the peace and order that had existed in those periods. He studied the historical records and concluded that the Duke of Zhou had combined the best elements of all the previous dynasties in his reign. The political philosophy of Confucius was an attempt to recreate the traditions and the values set forth by this early ruler. Today, in the Republic of China, the birthday of Confucius is celebrated every year on September 28th with a pre-dawn ceremony that originated in the Ming Dynasty. Confucius is not worshipped as a god, but he is revered as a great teacher and a great ethical leader. Confucius taught a philosophy of social order that began with the cultivation of the individual.
Raise the righteous men into power and let them serve as the measure for the unrighteous, and the unrighteous will return to righteousness.
Confucius was born of an aristocratic father, but his mother was a commoner. His father died before he was 3, and in his youth, he knew poverty and suffering. As a young man, he held a few official positions of minor importance and gained fame for his honesty and scholarship. He once said,
I only want to get at the truth, and am in love with ancient studies.